It does seem like the pain. Your friend's been in pain for a long time, so I don't know what comes from the. If it was always the unified field, but it's like you always wonder, like, based on the fact that you're showing these to like different kinds. We don't know who's seeing this. I saw that like some on this topic of like on this topic that we were saying like about the sort of like well, if someone were to watch the other videos, I guess this would then make sense. Like the thing is, like when someone said like that the person like that one of your people who was something who like commented or like say the way they do it like to sort of call me out on something like but that was correct. Jesus, the person seems sad and entitled, and the thing is, like, I want to tell you something about like what happened. Like, it's political in nature. It has to do with politics. But it was like when I made you've seen your friends' videos of like, geez, I'm in a legal situation. I have a lawyer to block my family from me and all that shit. See, here's the thing. Like, I was under the when I was raised, like, growing up around like these guys who were like, they are highly educated people, like, who are like Republican and everything, and well, like, very, like the masters in tax law. I mean, very Sutton Place and this and that, and very very like this like British Empire attitude and everything. I mean, and they were like Republican. The thing is that like I sort of I respected it. And like the thing is though, like when I found what I found out, and then when it started getting really psycho between me and them, to where that part when God is this. You see, I went to school to study. Part of the reason I studied like economics and like political economy like kind of later than like a lot of people would have, is like I perceived that was like part of like being a man was like understanding such things. Like I went to college for like English, so I didn't really feel like I was missing a part of like understanding reality that like is part of being a grown up, and then like when because of what's taken place in our era, and stuff, and I tried to like talk to my my family members and things about what's taking place economically and everything. Like I found out that like they don't really know much about economics, and they don't really understand much about like political economy or like economic things or anything. And as they a lot of the shit they talk, they get out of these magazines that are like basically like they don't really know what they're talking about. But also with regard to like the history of the economy or other societies and their economies, they're financially and economically illiterate. Like, bro, like I didn't know that. I mean, there's a secret. Like, I mean, a lot of these people vote like for and then support things like that. I mean, I think that they actually don't understand. Like they're not, and part of it is, and then of course, the personal disclosure. When I tried to get their help with my immediate family situation, and they don't want to help me. They don't want to help me. I have to go get a lawyer who's like from San Francisco, like isn't in the family. They don't want to they're not only they're full of shit and don't know about it, like economic things really at all in a serious grown-up way. So that means there are opinions, like there's political opinions that affect that people's lives economically are coming out of nowhere. They don't know what they're talking about, and on top of it, I found out and they don't want to help anybody, like even their own like nephew. So that's when I started to like sort of like understand that there's like people who are like there's a defective portion of our ruling class that's like doesn't know what they're talking about, and it's all attitudinal. But they're in think tanks, they write for magazines, they're taken seriously, That's a fucking problem. That's a big problem.